We are diving into the world of dating in Turkey, the do's and the don'ts, because in Turkey things are done differently. If you think that they are done the way you do it in your local country, I'm about to share with you things that will shock you, will encourage you, will challenge you, and also things that will enlighten you, so that when you are thinking of dating, if you are coming in Turkey, or maybe if you are dating a Turkish person, you are ready for the excitement, the challenging part, and everything. My name is Phoebe, and I do content about this beautiful country, of course, as much as my own country is concerned. So welcome, and let's dive in. Dating in Turkey offers a very unique blend of modern and also of traditional practices. And even though they offer this blend, it also offers a challenging experience, especially for the newcomers, or maybe for the people who are new to this beautiful country. When I first started dating my husband, of course, we actually started through online dating and also through like long distance relationship, and it was challenging, bearing in mind some factors like, for instance, language barrier and also the distance between us, and a lot of things that went on and on. And at the end of the day, what matters is the end of everything. And here we are building a family here in Turkey. Now I want to share with you some of the things that I know that will help you, especially if you're dating a Turkish person, or maybe if you are thinking to date one, so that you can get ready when you are jumping into this world of dating in Turkey. Do's of dating in Turkey. The very first one I want to share with you is that you should always love the person that you are actually dating. Okay, in terms of actually the feeling, the connection, the compatibility. Okay, you should emphasize on the values of these things, like what you're feeling about that person before diving into that relationship. Don't be driven by some other factors, because I know many people, or some of you have your own reason why you are dating that person. Don't let those things be the one that are actually driving you, and not true love. Okay, when you are dating a person, when you are thinking of a relationship, make sure that you are connecting, or maybe if it is in terms of actually dating, make sure that you are dating a person you love. Okay, don't be forced by things that are not attached to true love. Okay, that is the very first thing I want to share with you. Second thing I want you to know, the do's when it comes to dating in Turkey, is actually understanding the Turkish dating culture. Now I found out that dating here in Turkey, it is in terms of actually, it has been, like I said, it is a mixed or a blended practices culture wise, whereby we have traditional and also we have the modern practices. Now while young people, especially nowadays, they find their love in different ways, and they do their dating in different ways, especially knowing that we also have technology that has improved everything. We have dating online apps and stuff like that. We still have to consider things traditionally, or maybe these practices like traditional dating is still considered here in Turkey, especially in rural areas, or in not developed areas, or maybe in major cities. Okay, so they still actually consider their traditional values when it comes to actually dating, and that is very important for you as a person, because you need to understand that Turkey still holds their cultures. When you are diving into date a Turkish person, try to find out where are these people coming from, or maybe where is he coming from, and also try to find out if she is a girl. Try to find out where has she been raised. Okay, if she has been raised in a conservative family, chances are they still practice their cultural thing, and you're gonna have to bear in mind some of the cultural, or maybe some of the conservative practices that I have seen here. It is in terms of actually purity wise, like in terms of actually a girl being not having a boyfriend, or maybe not being with a man before marriage. My little girl, she's here, she's gonna make some noise. Anneciğim sus, biraz sus, tamam mı? Something you should do when you are dating a Turkish person, or maybe when you are thinking of dating in Turkey, you should respect the cultural values. That is something that you should do, because like I say, Turkey still holds their cultural thing, both traditionally and modern. So when you are navigating through, or maybe when you are in this relationship with a Turkish person, remember to bear in mind the traditional cultural thing, or maybe their cultural practices when it comes to actually in relationship. Another thing, it is respect for the elders. Of course, that is a culture that I have to emphasize, and in Turkey they do give more respect to elderly people, and don't just come in and start doing your own thing the way you have been used to be doing wherever you are. Another thing I want you to do when you are dating a Turkish person is to bear in mind the way you look, the way you actually dressing, your dressing mode. Because remember, Turkey is 90% maybe Muslim. If I say 90%, just to mean that majority of people here are actually Muslim. And if we consider this fact, you have to make sure that you are respecting their culture in terms of religion, and also in terms of actually your dressing mode. Not every city in Turkey you can just go there and wear anything that you want to wear. Okay, I know I live in Izmir, and Izmir is a very beautiful city, and it is more or less conservative, because in summer you see a lot of girls wearing the way they want, but still when they are going maybe in religion places like in the mosque, in the churches, you have to make sure that you are wearing something, you are covering yourself, and you are not just laying yourself. Another thing I want you to do, this will help you a lot, is actually to try as much as possible to practice some Turkish before even coming to meet your family, or maybe meeting the person that you are dating. Try as much as possible to learn some Turkish, basic Turkish. It's gonna help you even not only in the relationship, but also navigating through when you come here, speaking with the locals, speaking with your relatives, speaking with the people that are around you. And also it's gonna help you in many ways, even in terms of actually job hunting. Okay, now something I normally use to actually practice my Turkish, I'm still new, I'm still learning. It is in terms of actually the applications like Duolingo, and also I found out that watching Turkish series, Turkish TV dramas and stuff like that, and also books, reading, helps a lot when it comes to actually practicing as much as far as communicating with the locals or the people around you that are Turkish is concerned. So those are my tips when it comes to actually language and learning the language here, which will help you in terms of actually communicating with your spouse. Remember, majority of people here in Turkey, they do understand English and other languages, they do speak English, but we still have that language barrier, because in most cases they speak Turkish, which is actually their national language, or maybe which is actually their language that has been taught in many schools and from the beginning of their lives. So you have to bear in mind that depending on the person that you are dating, you'll find that maybe he doesn't understand English or the language that you want to communicate, and it's gonna be very difficult for you, especially when it comes to actually your relationship. I remember those days when I was still dating my husband in a long distance relationship, and all the time, even now, we still struggle when it comes to actually communication, because he is not fluent in English and I'm not fluent in Turkish. Luckily for now, I can speak averagely Turkish and he can speak averagely English, so we at least communicate and understand each other. But during those times, we used to use translator, a lot of things like Google Translate, a lot of time. Okay, he translates, I translate, he translates, I translate. So it was a bit challenging, because you cannot express your emotions and your feelings through a phone or maybe through a text. Okay, so it can be very hard, and the best thing for you is to start early practicing Turkish. Okay, so that is one thing I want you to always also bear in mind. Another do is actually, I want you to show some interest and curiosity of learning. Don't be afraid to ask questions in a relationship. When you are dating that person, don't be afraid to ask him, where are you coming from? What do you like to eat? What do you think about our relationship? Like in terms of actually talk about stuff, like ask questions. What do you want me to do when I come there? How do you want us to raise our children if you are on that stage of talking about the children, ask many questions as much as possible. Ask them or ask that person about their culture. What are you doing? Like, how do you normally do this stuff? Do you pay dowry? Do you how do you do it? How do you want us to actually have the wedding? What are the practices are you doing? What are the needed documents? Don't just sit there and think that this man will actually know exactly what you want to know. Okay, he won't know, especially if you are a foreigner. He won't even tell you some of the things. Remember, you are new to this country, and some things only the Turks can understand and can practice, especially when it comes to their culture of weddings. There are so many cultures that they normally do, and only Turkish people can understand if they want to do it. And sometimes they don't, foreigners don't do because they don't know. And also, according to their culture, like I said, they still hold their values in terms of actually purity. You find that a lot of virgins or a lot of girls are still virgins. And let's move on and talk about the don'ts. Don't do these things when you are dating in Turkey. Number one, don't be publicly overly showing off, okay, affection and stuff like that. Don't do that. Okay, I know in modern world, not even in Western parts, it is okay to actually just kiss each other in front of people, or maybe to do stuff like that. But in Turkey, be respectful of what you are doing, because remember, like I said, they do still hold their cultures in terms of respect, and also in terms of the elderly and the children around you. Don't just show off publicly around other elderly people that you are kissing, you are hugging, you are okay, it is fine to hug, it is fine to kiss, but don't do it over and over and over all the time. Like, it's gonna irritate a lot of people. So be mindful of what you are doing, especially if you're around people or around the people that are not of your same age. Okay, don't overdo it. That's what I want to say. It is fine to kiss, it is fine to hold each other's hands and walk on the streets, and nobody will ask you, but don't try as much as possible to go beyond that. Okay, I know in modern world, or maybe in other cities or worlds, you can do whatever you want even on the street, but don't do it in Turkey. Okay, because it's gonna annoy a lot of people, and it's gonna paint a bad picture on your relationship. Remember, they are still conservative in their cultures, and also they are still holding those cultures, and you should try as much as possible as a foreigner to show that you are actually respecting their culture or cultural values. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to share with you that you should not do. Okay, now let's move on to the next point, which is very important. When you are dating in Turkey, or when you are in a relationship in Turkey, don't try as much as possible, like don't what do I want to say, don't there are some topics that actually you should consider what you are talking, especially in public. Things like when it comes to religion, things like when it comes to politics, things like when it comes to actually your intimate conversations. Be very, very mindful of what you are speaking, and also don't just talk the way you want to talk, especially if you don't like, maybe let's say in politics, if you don't like maybe the president or maybe the former president or some things like that, try as much as possible not to be shouting, not to be talking and trying to say bitter words about that person, because let me tell you, this can get you in trouble and even in jail. Okay, I have seen a lot of people who have gone in jail because of what they have said about the president or maybe the former president. Remember, Turkey has their cultures when it comes to even their president. They still respect even the former president, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. So remember to be respectful, and also remember the words that you are using. Don't be too much insulting, or maybe too much talking negatively about other people, religions. Okay, so be very careful. That's what I want you to consider. Okay. Number 3, don't make assumption based on stereotypes. Okay, don't assume that everybody does this and this in Turkey. Don't generalize everybody In Turkey, everybody is judged according to their own characters. So while you are dating a person, or maybe while you are in a relationship, don't try to say that because I have heard, or maybe I have seen people talking about Turkish people or about Turks. Don't generalize everybody, okay? Because sometimes when you generalize, people or maybe the person that you are dating will start thinking, or maybe start saying that why, or maybe she or he will think, why did she actually put me in the same boat as so and so. So try to avoid these kind of things when you are dating a Turkish person. Okay? Another thing I want you not to do is actually don't ignore family approval. In Turkey, family plays a very crucial role in relationship. A mother or a father or an auntie or a sister or a brother can actually forbid you from dating a certain person, and if you don't get their approval, the wedding or maybe the relationship is considered not okay, and sometimes it can be a very big challenging big problem. So don't ignore those approvals. If you are thinking of dating a person in Turkey, try to find out, or maybe try to get approval from the parents, or maybe the person that is actually close to that person that you are dating, because they play a very crucial part in Turkish dating or Turkish relationship. Remember, even the wedding, it is the parents or maybe the brides, especially on the side of the girl, it is them who are going to actually be involved in planning and stuff like that, as much as the groom is concerned. So try as much as possible to get those blessing before, not even blessing, try as much as possible to get those approvals prior to even engaging into serious talks, or maybe into serious parts of the relationship, okay? Because they play a very crucial part in dating in Turkey, okay? When a brother or when a sister says you cannot marry my sister, try as much as possible to make peace with that prior to making your plans or going ahead and marrying that girl that they have refused you. Okay, I have seen a lot of things that have been happening because of family disapproval. Maybe a member of a family saying that you cannot marry this girl, you cannot marry this man, and they go ahead and they do, or maybe they know. And what happens during the relationship, or maybe even during the same day of the wedding, it's just a story for another day that I don't want to bring it here. So try as much as possible to get approvals. Try as much as possible to inquire what are the parents, what are the people that you are involved in, what are they thinking about your relationship. Are they accepting it? Are they refusing it? Be a person who asks questions, and also a person who is actually curious about these kind of topics. Last don't is actually something to do with my previous point, which is actually connected in terms of actually while you are seeking questions and answers, while you are curious about the relationship, don't rush the relationship. Because remember, Turkish people are very tricky when it comes to dating. And not only Turkish people, but I think they have this culture of actually taking, even though they are open to tell you what they feel and what they want in a relationship, but they don't want you to take the prior, or maybe to be the one who is deciding. Especially if you are lady and you are dating a man, it's a Turkish man, don't try to push him to the relationship. It doesn't happen like that. I have seen in most parts, or maybe Western parts, it is okay for a girl to propose, it's okay for a girl to initiate everything, or in terms of actually the relationship, and keep it going until they get married. But in Turkey, I have seen that it is the man who is actually having the intention first for you to actually like the initial intention to approach you, the initial intention of actually proposing and engaging to you, and making sure that you are waiting. Okay, so don't do it rationally. Like, don't rush into conclusion. Don't just because he has shown you or he has introduced you to his parents, and you think that, oh, he is my man now, we are married, we are officially married. No, girl, relax. Okay, take time to know him, take time to see, is he a fit for you, is he a good partner, does he even have a house? Learn some of these things. Okay, where will you stay, what will you eat, what will your children it when you bring the children. Don't just be in a rush of, oh, I'm dating a Turkish man, I want to be in Turkey, I want to do this and this. Relax, okay? Take your time. Be a woman, okay? Be a lady. Don't be like you are the man, you want to plan the wedding. He has not even proposed, he has not even introduced you to the parents, and you are thinking of a big wedding and stuff like that. Cool down, okay? And I'm not doing this to scare you, but I'm just telling you the truth because I know them, okay? So those are the do's and the don'ts like I have shared with you, and I want to go ahead, take care of my kids here. Remember, in everything, communication and putting God first is very crucial. Try as much as possible to ask God questions. Is he the person? Is she the person that you intend me to be with? Okay, I'm really sorry for the background noise from my kids, but I hope you are understanding what I'm saying. Okay, communication. Try to communicate with that person. Try to know that person. Try to do things that actually you have the curiosity to know, and also learn, and be patient. Okay, patient. Even the long distance relationship, be patient. Okay, pray over the relationship, and also don't just sit there and be like you're waiting for him. Have something of your own that you are doing that will keep you busy as much as you are actually waiting for that person. I'm gonna leave this video here because of the background noise, but you can find everything that I have talked in this video in the description. Until next time guys, I'll see you. Guru shoes.